All right, y'all, we are back. We had a little hiatus, a little week off for the holiday season. This is A Light in the Sky, the 4400 recap review show. I'm your co-host, Rhayne Coleman, and I got with me like I do every week, except for last week,
Yeah.
because I wasn't here either. What's up, man?
What's going on, Robert? What's going on, Robert? Like I'm talking about
Not
myself in
much,
the third
Rain. How are
person.
you?
Yeah, I was trying to say, what's going on? My name is Robert, and the co-host of this podcast.
Yo,
Apparently, I still have the Thanksgiving itis. I can't think straight, but
right, right.
happy to be here and to
Same.
actually, it's a deluxe episode, right?
No, for real, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all. So we going into season one, episode 5 and episode 6
Yep.
of 4400. If y'all ain't know. For episode 5, it is the way we were. Keisha hears the truth about the day she lost her sister, moving her to take a chance. Shanice and Andre enjoy a day out. Meanwhile, Hayden and Mariah grow closer. Then in episode 6, if you love something, Jarrell and Keisha must earn the trust of the 4400 if they want to help keep them safe. Hayden convinces LaDonna and Andre to visit Ipsy Med, and Rev continues to grow his flock. Bruh,
So, yeah, it's
what's up?
it's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot going on.
yeah, yeah,
Um, Initial thoughts. One of the things that we talked about, I guess, in the green room or
yeah,
whatever, or off screen, like professional, the green room,
right?
um, is this series is picking up pace. As
hmm
we get
hmm
to the later episodes, because I'm assuming that this is just going to be a 10 episode season.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm liking it. I'm enjoying the fact that it's picked up. But I haven't been in, the camp of like this is moving too slow. I think the pace has been fine, but for now,
hmm
especially episode 6.
Oh,
But
yes.
yeah, that's where it picks up. But episode 5, I think it's kind of leading there. So,
Yeah.
but initial thoughts about it. Episode 5.
For me, I enjoyed it. I loved, I loved the Keisha element aspect
Mm-hmm.
of it. I
Yeah.
like that because I will say I was Keisha's number one enemy, episode 1. I ain't gonna hold
Mm-hmm.
you up, but I do like that they did a good job at setting her up to be this quote unquote hard ass, and then you see the outside elements that she's dealing with, not just from your relationship and your job, but also from your past,
Right.
So I thoroughly enjoyed, like, I enjoyed the episode, but Keisha's story in particular, I loved it. I loved
Yeah.
it. hmm
No, that
Yes.
was definitely one of the standouts.
Oh,
um, and especially her scene. Well, and we'll get to that with her brother-in-law,
yeah,
but but
that guy, that
yeah.
guy. He, let me tell
Well,
you, go ahead,
no,
man.
no, no. We can actually start there because we go
Yes.
like point by point, breaking it down.
Yeah.
So you did open it up with the focus on Keisha, and what I
Yeah.
actually thought was cool about that is that they're not just focusing in the past of the 4400. It's
hmm
just like we have the as if you're a part of this world, or
Yeah.
if you're a major character, if you're not Cora or whatever that woman's name was that just
God, I
popped
hate
up.
that lady.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If she, so as long as you like got some screen time this more than like two
Yes.
minutes and say, "Yo, how's everybody doing?" and then leaving, you're gonna get some shine time, And
Yes.
this was huge. I actually really enjoyed the
hmm
opening of it, with her, hair down,
Yes.
chilling with her sister and her nieces, and
hmm
for somebody watching this, it would have been like, "Whoa, where did this come from?"
hmm
So I like that, like you said, that this folk they gave her shine time,
hmm
and like it kind of I was kind of coming around to that
hmm
with her. Like, I don't think she's like the they were making her the put upon bad guy. It
Yeah.
seemed like. So what were your thoughts about that her whole like
I
arc?
loved it. Now I
Mm-hmm.
will say, and this I really shouldn't have. Well, I shouldn't have to say this. The CW is a particular type of network.
Mm-hmm.
This is really in response to Greg's
Mm-hmm.
post on Facebook. But yes, about why watch CW if you're going to complain about everything.
Yeah.
And I bring that up simply because though I love this episode, there are some things that felt a bit campy. but at the same time, that doesn't make it inherently bad. A lot
Right.
of Keisha and her sister's interactions to me felt very corny or cheesy, so to speak.
Hmm.
But knowing that you got to get her full backstory in this
Yeah.
one episode,
Hmm.
it's like that's a side effect of getting so much done in so little time. You know,
Hmm.
you got her and her sister, their relationship, her sister's tragic backstory with her husband. You got the niece. It's a lot. So, but
Yeah.
I loved it. I did. I liked. I think the show did a excellent job at setting Keisha up to be one way, not just in actions, but
Hmm.
in aesthetic, in the way that she's styled. Because
Yep.
these flashbacks, baby, I've
Right.
never seen Keisha smile
Well,
as much as
even bright colors. Like she was
yes,
wearing bright colors, in that,
yellow.
yeah, yellow, and it was just
What?
like, yeah, even that. So that's actually a good point. And I mentioned
Hmm.
the hairstyle.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
because every time we see her now, she's not a Fed, and that's the thing. Like I
Mm.
don't know if parole officers dress like that because she is
Yo,
so like Jarrell comes in like with his t-shirt and the jacket and the
bro.
jeans, and she comes like she dresses like a Fed,
Yeah,
So, but
yeah.
but like you said, they even aesthetically,
Hmm.
they changed it up, when it
Yeah.
came to her.
Definitely, and I do appreciate that. And also, if we take a look back at the original series, Tom and Diana were very similar in the way that
Hmm.
they presented, like on the clock, anyways.
Yeah.
And with her dressing the way she does, and Jarrell being the cool uncle, it's like night and day. So I like that too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was intentional, but we could also, take it a little bit further. Women in the workplace
Yeah.
having to be portrayed a certain way or have to portray themselves a certain way, and but a man comes in, and not to say Jarrell is sloppy, but this man ain't nowhere near suit and tie
No.
like she is,
No.
and so it's just like we ain't seen no other women come in looking like Jarrell. Every woman that's come on screen has had a blazer, a button
Hmm.
down,
Yep.
and Jarrell's just like,
It's
fuck.
like fuck. He's like, I'm doing what I do. So
Yeah,
what's gonna be interesting is if we get his flashback episode, if we're going to see him like done up to the nines with
right,
the the suit and
right,
tie.
yes,
You mentioned Grand Anderson Elise,
hmm,
creator of Isnana and
yep.
Were
Come
Spider.
on, come on.
Go buy that book. Go buy it, buy it, buy it. So he was mentioning about the CW shows, and
Hmm.
I know him. I know that actor from Arrow, from the
Oh, okay,
Arrowverse. So yeah, so I've
okay,
never seen the dude. I've seen him in costumes, I've seen him
okay.
in t-shirts and jeans, but I've never
Yeah.
seen him like in dressed up to the nines. So
Hmm.
that'll be interesting to see if when they do the flashback, if they show him in the mayor's office, because I don't
Mm.
think he just walked up in there with a t-shirt, jeans,
Right.
and
Hmm.
gym shoes.
Right.
Um,
Right.
the other thing I loved about this focus on Keisha was the um the conflict that she's dealing with now. As far
Hmm.
as her sister's death changed her, and then you have a lot of circumstances where the passing of a loved one or somebody that's very close to you is gonna switch it up. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
kind of how it is.
Hmm.
And in her case, it was enough to the point where um, her brother-in-law straight up said, "You're not the same. Like you don't even come by to
Hmm.
see your nieces." And
Yep.
I felt that even though they packed a lot into this episode, and I don't think he was
Hmm.
suggesting it as a bad thing, but it was
Hmm.
enough that when we got to that scene between the two of them,
Yes.
I
Same.
was just
Yep.
like, if y'all are sitting back watching the show and saying that there's no good acting happening,
Bro.
no, you can't.
Bro.
You can't watch a scene like that and
No.
then walk away and say like these people are like going through the motions. So
Yo.
I
Let me tell
felt
you.
I felt
Yes.
everything in that when they
Yes.
were, and
Yes.
it was like a nice argument because they were like
Hmm.
he wasn't saying why you taking why you doing some bullshit
Yeah.
but he was like, why aren't you seeing your nieces? It was like
Hmm.
he loves you. Your
Yeah.
nieces love you.
Yep.
And I felt it was coming
Whew.
from the heart. So I don't know,
Yes.
what were your thoughts on that scene
Ha!
specifically?
Let me tell you, when I was live tweeting, I made sure to tweet directly to the
Yeah.
4400 and to their writers' room. Terry, that
Yeah.
man, say what you want, that man was going for an Oscar. He was trying
Yeah.
his best to
Hmm.
make sure he got an Oscar, a Grammy, a Tony.
He
That
said a
scene
Grammy.
was so good. All of it, all
He
of it.
starts singing.
No, but that was
Yeah.
so. I didn't expect that level of performance. And again, not to just be
Yeah.
like, oh, he was so great. Like that aside, like everything leading up to it was so messy in the sense that we got her
Yeah.
backstory, we know what happened. This another good thing is this show did not show they're not showing gratuitous sex and
Hmm.
violence and crime and blood, and they still got their point across. That
Hmm.
scene on the front porch with Terry,
Hmm.
I'll tell you right now, is my favorite scene of the
Mm.
series so far. And not that it's like
Wow.
the absolute best, but that one, or not to say that the other ones weren't good, but
Hmm.
that scene for that man to have such little screen time and
Hmm.
in that argument convey that all that emotion, like
Yeah.
I don't they whoever casted him, bravo.
Yeah.
And I hope we see more of him.
His name is he was Kai Ely. Kai Ely.
Okay.
And so shout out to him as he was playing
Hey,
Tariq. Yeah, Tariq.
bruh, bruh.
Nah, he killed it, and I felt that the actress who played Keisha, I think it's Irion Roach. She
Yeah.
Irion or Irion Roach.
Hmm.
It was both, like I said, they both kind of
Oh yeah.
held their own
Yeah.
with each
Yeah.
other. So that was that was a major thing that I enjoyed.
Hmm.
Let me just jump into this because we got to get the cartoony villain of this episode out the way. Um,
Yeah.
because we're hopping over, we're not going like scene by scene. So
Yeah.
we're talking about our highlights. So one of the highlights for me was when they went to the bar and
Bro,
Claudette knucked if she bucked. She just like
she was ready to fight.
yeah, he was like the not the sloppy drunk, the cartoony drunk. And he was
Yes.
like, he didn't say so. He was, the undercurrent was talking about black people, but
Yes.
he was just like, you weirdos, you freaks.
Yes.
And then he was just
Yes.
like, bitch. And she was
Yes.
like, pa. Or like, I don't know who hit first, but I
Claudette. I
Claudette.
think he
Okay.
grabbed her and she
He
grabbed
grabbed,
that bottle and was
right.
like,
He
yeah.
just slammed. And the thing I respect is that she went for the bottle. She didn't just
Oh
go for a
yes.
slap. She didn't go for a punch. She went for the most effective means of
Yes.
taking the motherfucker out. And and then he just fell back. And the thing that I love is like it was a domino effect in
Yes.
this, like the bar looked like it was something from like a CW,
Yo.
like Brandy. That was the
Yes.
place where Brandy and her friends hung out after school. And I'm just like, this is not a bar where you see
Mhm.
people just like breaking, but then like a
Yes.
domino effect, everybody just started kicking ass, and but I that's why I enjoyed. They need to stop casting just like the cartoonish
Yeah.
villains,
Yeah. I
because he
agree.
just sounded like it was not the best. But when she knocked him, I was like, okay, that saved this scene,
Yeah.
save this part.
I I like that scene. I
Yeah,
just didn't understand again, and I think we talked about this off
yeah,
camera. Why
yeah.
did this Spike Lee cartoonish white a racist villain? What bar is he and then the cast of girlfriends
Right,
both
exactly.
visiting? Like these, this crossover is weird. Like he could have been a black person. Not to say, oh, we needed him to be black, but I was like,
Right.
this makes absolutely no sense. This
Like,
collection of people, but
why are you here? Why are you here?
I was like,
Um,
ugh. And then
I
I think
think,
if he had have been more of a psycho character where like, oh, I'm dressed up really not like maybe he just his aesthetic to me just didn't fit. That was the most unbelievable thing out of the whole show. Not even
gotcha.
people traveling through time. It was this. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that was I don't know. I just had too much fun with that. What was another moment or scene that stood out for you?
This was episode 5.
Five.
Um, was it Pride? I think Pride
Yeah.
because
Hmm.
for me, knowing one being from the Midwest, I've ventured to
Hmm.
Detroit countless times, and knowing that Pride usually happens in June, that aspect I enjoyed. But I was like, okay, if Pride happened in June,
Hmm.
these two, Shanice and Andre, end up at a Pride festival,
Hmm.
and she says, 3 weeks ago I was married to, my husband. I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
so let's say this is mid June,
Hmm.
then they return back to bail out in like maybe the second week of May. This does not matter. But
You're talking
the
about the
fact that
time.
the fact that it was in June, I said, okay, it's Pride, it's June, they're in the
Yeah,
summer 3 weeks ago. So I'm sitting here counting back as if that means anything because they haven't
that's
really stressed
hilarious.
time in the present day. But
Mm-hmm.
that's where I was like, all right, I'm gonna figure this out. Does
Mm-hmm.
not matter at all. But I did enjoy the Pride scene.
Yeah,
Um, I think this show is doing a good job at giving you things that matter. There's not a
yeah,
lot of filler. And though the Pride, you could say, well, that's a bit extreme. But if we're thinking about it, and this is a major city, and it is in June, and there is a Pride event
right.
for the Shanice Andre, will they, won't they sort of thing that's already been built up. This is the event that makes the most sense for them
Mm-hmm.
to be at an event like. So I just think that whoever plotted out or like plotted out the series did
Mm-hmm.
a really good job, and I like that prize thing because I think it gave you just as much as you needed, and you
Right.
got in and you got out, and I'm sure it was fun to just jump around in the background with a flag. So, but I did like that scene. I did like that scene.
Yeah, I want to see Dr. Andre dancing.
Yo,
Yo, like they cut away too fast before
yeah,
that. Like
yeah,
everybody was like living their best lives in the background. I
yeah.
was like, oh yeah, Dr. Andre. Oh, okay, next thing.
Nah.
Um, I, I also like the part. I like the progression and the difficulties. It seems like with their what you call a burgeoning relationship.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
it makes sense. Like she is still having. I don't know if it's feelings, but it's kind of a conflict of
Mhm.
it's a conflict that she's going through, and it doesn't
Yeah.
seem like it's a will they, won't they, Dawson's
Right.
Creek type of BS. It's just like these are grown ass adults, and she literally has a
Yes.
family,
Yes.
that she's. I mean, she had a man who was like father of her, daughter or whatever. So,
Yeah. Like
um,
yesterday. Like,
yesterday, yeah, like
yeah.
it's just like I'm not coming back from time travel. It's like, well, my wife's gone, that type of
Yeah.
shit. It's like not
Yeah.
doing that, so it seems natural
Mhm.
that they're dealing with what they are. Let's talk about Bill Green, the Dennis Ryland of the bunch. Um,
Come on.
we've been wanting it. We
Yeah,
wanted a
we got
bad
it.
guy, right?
We
We got
got
it.
it.
We
Yo.
got it. He's interesting. I think
Mhm.
he's you call him a wolf in sheep's clothing,
Yeah.
which I actually enjoyed. The thing
Mhm.
though, like if he's supposed to be the Dennis Ryland, which for people who haven't seen the original, he's like one of the main antagonists of the original
Yeah.
series, but we see his growth
Mhm.
from ally to antagonist,
Mhm.
and that's the thing I
Yeah.
miss in this, and I don't know if we're going to get that,
I doubt
but
it.
this guy straight up they had him in the in the shadowy room, and they were like we're letting him go.
Yo.
He's like we have a big ass cage, and he was
Yeah.
like and pinpointed everybody. So
Yeah.
I need more with him. I think we do get that in episode 6, but
Mhm.
Duke came out of left field, and I was just like,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
yeah.
I wish he had have been introduced, even if it wasn't him physically. I feel like, and again, this is just hindsight 2020, and we also watched the first series.
Mm-hmm,
I think that he should have been. We should have known his name before he popped on screen. Even if it's
mm-hmm,
like, who the hell is Bill? They keep talking about this
yeah.
Bill, but yeah, I'm with you. I feel like he just came in, and I I'm afraid that this show is just like evil white man. Like everybody is evil white man, and
Mm-hmm,
that's something that I don't want to see. Like, okay,
right,
sure, this white man is evil, but like also this other white man is evil.
right.
Like Noah is the only white man that is not evil on this show, and so
So
I
you
would like, hey,
no, keep saying what you gotta say
Logan,
because I
yeah, Logan, I'm
yeah,
talking to
okay.
you. No, I
That's
just
what I was gonna say. Like,
no.
so Logan is so back and forth,
Oh,
but yeah.
yeah, I have a love hate with him, but no, I
Hmm.
just I'm hoping that's not the pocket we're falling into. I
Hmm.
get as far as optics, a quick shorthand. Oh, this evil white guy is a security
Hmm.
guard officer, and he did this. Sure, but like if we're going to lean into different races, mainly black and whatnot, for
Hmm.
this, I would like to see a little bit more. Even with Soraya, like why couldn't Bill Green have been an Indian man? What I'm saying? But
Hmm.
whatever. It's that's a small thing for now for all the great
Right.
things we're getting with this series. So it's not a huge issue now, but I'm
Yeah.
starting to see a pattern that I'm not.
Not feeling
I'm
too much.
feels kind of easy, like
Yep.
the easy way out. So
Yeah. There. So now the song popped into my head. There's no easy way. Anyways, there. The thing with that, and we always talk about this show, the up and downs of it. One
hmm
thing I think Black Lightning did is that they gave us so many different types of villains. First
yes,
season, it was like obviously like a MAGA Trump supporter who was in the
hmm
government, and
hmm
then we got Bill Duke, and then we got
hmm
Tobias Well was
hmm
always there. We got I think Cutter, Cutter
yeah,
was
Cutter.
there.
Ooh, yes,
Cutter,
she was there.
yeah, we had Jill
Dr.
Scott.
Jace. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Jill
Dr.
Scott too.
Jace, Jill Scott, and I'm focusing just mainly on the black because they
Oh
had a
yeah, well,
lot of
Vice
black
Principal.
villains. They had a lot of
hmm
black villains. Actually, no, we can talk about them all. We had the over the top fake Russians who were from what was it? It was a Kosnia. It's a fake
Um, yeah, a
it,
DC like
DC
Ukraine.
country. Yeah, like
God, now that we think about it, I can't remember it. Let me look
it
it up.
ended in Slavia, and there's
See.
and I'm trying to think. So we got a well. Oh, and then, I was gonna say, you remember Eddie Kane from the Five Heartbeats?
hmm
He was the guy keeping all the immortals in that gelatin bath thing. You remember,
Oh
like he was,
yeah,
yeah, and they
yeah.
never did anything with
They
the
didn't. I'm about
character.
to say yeah. They
No,
didn't
no,
miss
they didn't do shit.
one.
They was good for that. So, anyways, but villain wise, we got a really good
Yeah.
mix, and it wasn't just always the evil white guy. So I want them to kind
hmm
of show that let's get some antagonists who don't just necessarily keep falling into that realm.
Yeah.
Um, the what was so I said, but what was what was another kind of highlight of the episode for you?
Claudette.
Okay,
Claudette.
yeah,
When I tell you this woman, Claudette, I'm looking for the actress's name. I think it is. No, that's Ladonna. What
Jay
is?
Ladymore.
Yes, I love her. There
Mm-hmm.
are certain characters and actresses, and I don't know if I fell for the character and then was like, oh, I just love her, or if it was
Mm-hmm.
a combination of a bunch of things. But I am really partial to Claudette. To me, she
Mm-hmm.
can do no wrong. She can kill a man, and I'm going to find a way to justify it. I I am truly a stan, but
Yeah,
she, in particular, I think I am kind of gravitating towards her character in the time, like her portrayal of a woman in the 50s. Like
right.
for me, I wasn't born in the 50s, but somehow hers, not that anyone else is doing a terrible job, hers feels real, or it's just the depiction that I am most identifying with or
Yeah.
something. And it's so odd because Rev, though I don't like him, he's from the 90s, and I understand what I'm looking at with him. I grew up looking at that. And the same
Mm-hmm.
thing even with Shanice. It was only 16 years ago, but something about Claudette and that acting and maybe even the accent feels so good to
Yeah.
me. So everything about her with Jarrell, her,
Mm-hmm.
talking about, life back home, the story about her having one weekend a month to kind of be to herself. Like
Yeah.
I'm very interested in that character to the point where this is extreme nerd wish hoping if there was a spinoff, I would love to see her. Like I just
Right.
think from here on out, I'll be following this actress no matter what she does.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Same here. I mean,
Mm,
same here. And looking at kind of her work, she's done a lot of like cop and lawyer shows.
okay.
I was like I said, I did research on her and all the other actors, and checking the past stuff, and it her storyline. I think there's a reason why they're holding her origin story or abduction
hmm
story
Yes.
until like some of the last few episodes because I
Yeah.
think hopefully it's going to be something that's special. And not saying that any of the stories have been
Right.
lacking. I think
hmm
actually pretty much all of the flashbacks have actually pretty much on point.
I agree.
But I do think that there's a reason why like I said, when she threw hands this episode, I was like, "That's hey, she top three,
Hey,
one of my top three 45."
she. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I was like, I need because I always get tired of black folks being victimized, in cases
Mhm.
like that in like popular
Mhm.
media, and just to see somebody like knock a motherfucker out, that's great. So
Yeah.
that was great. Um, the other thing that stood out to me though was um, Soraya. Um,
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
she looked like she had been through some stuff,
Hey.
and I felt for her, but I also love the fact that she clapped back as hard as she did.
Mhm.
Um, back at Ladonna, because Ladonna
Yes.
coming over, I'm not saying it was ditzy, but it was just like you can't. They literally disappeared her,
Mhm. For
for a
8 days.
considerable amount of time, right? For a
Mhm.
considerable amount of time. So to kind of come over there lackadaisical about it and say, "Yo, can you help me out with this?" I like that they gave Soraya her space to respond and say, like, "This ain't cool.
Yeah.
This is not cool."
Yep.
And then the follow up to that, when Ladonna came and apologized,
Mhm.
um, one of my favorite lines of the night was. Um, and I said real as fuck. She said, "I'm a Muslim queer woman who works for the United States government,"
Mhm.
and that's she's on. I hate to put it like this, but she's on everybody's radar.
Hey,
She's on everybody's
even other
radar.
people of color. Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So and it was so I kind of felt for her when she was like they took me out of here on charges of treason, and
Mhm.
I felt that that was her moment,
Yeah.
and I felt that it was justified. I love
Mhm.
Ladonna, but it was a bit much for her to come up and say, "Yo, hey, da 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 da, can
Mhm.
you work this for me?" So
Yeah. Whew. She dirty.
yeah,
Yes. Yes. I felt the same. I felt like Ladonna, and I don't know if this was intentional, but was kind of pulling a Tony Childs from Girlfriends type of thing. And it was that scene in particular where she was like,
hmm
"Oh, hey, girl. So yeah, I need your help with such and such." Like something about that scene. And
hmm
listeners, maybe y'all can agree, disagree, confirm, deny. But I was like, yeah, this feels Tony Childs. And
hmm
much like you, I love LaDonna. She
yeah,
is one of my favorites, but like you was wrong. But
yeah,
then I'm also like, yeah, you're wrong per se. Like you're wrong because you did this thing that you shouldn't have. But also like the thing you did was to also help this group of people that's pretty much prisoners. So I get it. I'm just mad that Soraya had to be the one on the receiving end, but
yeah. I
good
mean,
TV.
and
Hmm.
I guess it makes for good TV. I think the other thing though is, and we talked about this, um, she don't give a fuck. I mean, like at that moment, because remember, she part of the reason she did that was
Hmm.
because
Yep.
it's the same
Come
way with
on.
the Reverend. It was kind
Come
of like
on.
self-serving interest, which turned into something bigger.
Yeah.
They lied to her, and then she was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, okay, you got me, I got you."
Yeah.
And when she got her, Soraya, they escorted her ass,
Yo.
like this is a thing that pops up in both of these episodes in
Hmm.
several different instances. This is not the same US government that y'all were used to. And the messed up
Hmm.
thing about it was when these people disappear, let's say post 2000, or actually any period of time,
Come on.
the government does what it's going to do. I mean,
Hmm.
and it f's people over. It
Yeah.
just so it shafts them. So but to hear them say it's gotten progressively worse, and then I want somebody to say, "Let me tell you about this guy named Donald Trump," and then
No.
the people just like start losing shit. And then wait, I want
Yeah.
somebody like from the '90s to be like, "Wait, the fucking guy from Home Alone, like this dude,
Right. Right. Oh my
right?
God. Yeah. That.
Yeah, like
Ooh. That's something
yeah."
good to put in for next season.
That would
Writers.
be yeah. Put me in the writers' room, but yeah, but it's like an ongoing thread, and especially with getting Bill Green introduced, that
Hmm.
you can't trust him. You couldn't
Yeah.
trust him in the original series because, like
Hmm.
I said, they were talking about the overreach of the government after 9/11,
Yeah.
and now it progressively just gets worse. So
Hmm. Ooh, yeah, yeah. This is heavy.
it's heavy.
This is this is heavy as hell. Um, what was I going to mention? Really quickly,
Yeah,
Bridget. As much as I was like, F Bridget, it's still F Bridget, but it's like I I want more of her because
yeah,
this is awkward as hell.
Mhm.
Lean into it. I don't want a love triangle. I want a love square. Give me Bridget, Logan,
Wow.
Andre, and Shanice, and figure it out. Because this is so messy. Like the whole Bridget even said, like I, this this is the room for my husband's first wife,
Yep.
and I'm having her in my home to like the girl you raised.
Yep.
It's so messy, and I'm like, just lean into it. Just please lean into it. Just give me all the mess. So, I'm yeah,
That was
I'm yeah.
that was one of my favorite parts when Keisha tried to trade with Jarrell, and then Jarrell was like, "Nah, that's messy as fuck." He's like, "I'm not dealing with that.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
He
dealing
went
with that."
for it. Yeah. Oh
But
man, yeah, yeah.
it's crazy.
Uh,
But yeah, I think because we're doing like two episodes in one. We'll for this one we'll wrap it up. Unless did you have any other like major points?
Not really. It was Shanice and Andre, Hayden and Mariah getting closer. Cool. The cliffhanger was pretty good. I had a note about the 3 weeks, the pride, Keisha and her sister. Oh, um, finding out, and this is my last point. Keisha
Yeah,
finding out that the sister was murdered on her way. She was still at the. Essentially, she was getting some
yeah,
shit set up for Keisha.
yeah.
So it wasn't like she was just off doing some stuff, hanging out. Like she was preparing something for Keisha. I forget what exactly it was, but that knowledge, after
Hmm.
all of the stuff you've been through, you've been carrying with you for, and I don't know how long she died. If it was like maybe 5 years
Uh,
ago or what,
I
but
mean, it had. No, can you say what you're gonna say because I'm
no,
gonna
I'm saying
wait
either
to.
way,
Yeah.
it's like heavy that you're holding. You're Her death changed you. You're the person you
Mm,
are now, and all of that hurt and pain that you have holding on to, it's one thing to hold on to it like, oh, this man killed my sister. It's another thing to
mm,
know that she was killed while doing something for you.
right.
That's a whole nother level of hurt that I'm just like,
It'll.
it blew my mind. I was
Yeah.
just like, yo,
Like stuff like that can break you,
yeah,
so and I think that speaks to the writing of the episode where
hmm
they kind of showed this is how I don't say how far she's fallen but how much she's
hmm
changed.
yes, yep,
I mean, it
absolutely.
was a lot.
Mhm.
So here's my okay, so let's go through the records. Who's your favorite character of the episode?
Episode 5, my favorite would be. I'm actually, though I love Claudette, I'm gonna go with Claudette because she used that
Hmm.
bottle, that ladies' night
Yep.
bottle. So yeah,
The
yeah,
ladies night battle.
I'm gonna go with Claudette, knocking them heads off.
uh,
Yeah.
for me it's Soraya,
Okay,
because I
okay.
felt that this was her moment, albeit it was at the expense of going off on Ladonna. But
Hmm.
I felt the moment was earned, and for her to kind of focus on because that's the other side of this that we don't get
Yeah.
is what it's like being, a person who is not a white person working in the government or white,
Yeah.
straight white male working
Hmm.
in the, in that within that sphere, and she was just very straight up with it. So I actually, so I'm off. I've jumped off the Dr. Andre favorite person train.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
fault to the character, but yeah, I thought she represented. Who's
Hmm.
your least favorite character of the episode?
Logan.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
No love for Logan.
No love for Logan. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, it is the bad drunk, the bad acting drunk at the bar.
Bro.
Like it was too much because like up to that point I was like, this is a pretty solid episode, and then he was like, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, we're going back to this now.
Right. Right.
Um, it was
Yeah.
weird. He was out of place, like you said, at the hangout spot from Brandy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, my rating system. So how much you want to rate this? Like out of so many pissed off Sorayas.
Oh my god. I'm actually probably gonna give this a. Wanna go? I'm gonna go 7.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 7.5.
Yeah.
Dang, I don't know, but Terry. Damn it. Yeah, I'll stay with 7.5 just to
Okay.
be done. Yeah. What about you?
It was. I'll go with 7.5 because it was going to be somewhere between like 7 and 8.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think if the drunk hadn't been in there,
Yeah.
it would have been
Yeah.
an 8 because it was
Honestly.
just
Mm-hmm.
that was a weird ass. And we've been around drunk people,
Yeah.
but they don't get. I mean, most people I know just fall asleep. So
Yeah.
or just say stupid shit. But he did say stupid shit, but it was cartoonish. So
Yeah.
7.5 angry upset Sorayas.
Yeah.
So episode 5, put to bed.
Yes.
Um and so now on to episode 6.
Yeah. Yes. If you love something. Whew.
So
Yeah.
you,
That
you want
is.
me to read off the summary for that
Go ahead. You got it.
or the synopsis,
Yeah.
courtesy of IMDb? Oh, okay, nothing.
Ah.
So
Wait. Okay. Okay. Wait. Wait.
wait, I'll let you find it because they
Yeah,
shared it
no,
not too
I
long.
got it. Hold on. He said nothing. All right, so Jarrell and Keisha must earn the trust of the 4400 if they want to help keep them safe. Hayden
Mhm.
convinces LaDonna and Andre to visit Ipsy Med, and Rev continues to grow his flock. I like to add Hayden bullies LaDonna and Andre into going to Ipsy Med because there was no convincing.
Oh
That
my
man
god.
is a bully, bro.
Oh my god. So let's talk about Hayden. let's not
Yes.
let's skip the initial thoughts and let's talk about
Yeah.
Hayden.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
So the one thing I forgot to mention was the cliffhanger for last
Oh,
week was
yes.
Hayden going getting Rambo ready for this. So Hayden was interesting this episode because
Yes.
I felt that they stuck the landing with his origin. I really liked
Yeah.
the origin, but some of the stuff in present day was just a little like all over the place um at
Yeah.
times at
Okay.
times and you summed it up perfectly where and it's funny
Bro.
because everybody at a certain point was like, yo, we need to calm down because we're trying to get the fuck up out of here. And everybody kept telling him, like, yo, like,
Yo.
just hey, fuck Mildred. We're trying to get out of this piece. And it and I kind of felt for him, but then also the way he was kind of coming at people,
Hey,
and actually him and Dr. Andre, because
come on.
him and Dr. they stay
Yes.
telling people, well, your ass getting out today. And I was just
Yes.
like, he's like, you got a
Yes.
place to live. You have living relatives. And I was just like, God damn, this is harsh. But
Yes.
that's where I'm kind of middle of the road about how they handled Hayden this episode. What were your thoughts?
I first of all, Hayden is a bully. I don't think he apologized for pushing the doctor. What was
He
it, two
did it.
episodes
He
ago? He like
really did
launched
it.
him into the wall.
Yeah.
Okay, but I did like the origin story.
Yeah.
I thought his mama was played by Issa Rae. When I saw that first glimpse of her, I was like, wait a minute. I thought that was Issa Rae,
I'm drinking
fam.
water.
I was, I was like, what? She getting this CW money? No, that wasn't her. But yeah, I like Hayden. I feel like they don't really know what they're doing with him, or there's a
Mhm.
disconnect. And this isn't 100% negative, but I feel like either they know what they're doing and they haven't effectively communicated it to us, or they
Mhm.
don't know what they're doing and they're just trying to make things make sense. Because the backstory was great, but
Mhm.
I I feel like it's taken me it's taken a lot for me to associate Mildred with his mom as like this is the people who gives me my peace and
Mhm.
understanding, and because I'm like, but you also were mentioning Noah, which I guess just by nature of Noah have been on the show, you want to mention
Yeah.
him, but the backstory was great, but the backstory to me didn't match the present completely because I don't understand why Hayden is so. I get why he's attached to Mildred. That's your
Mhm.
friend. You might like her. Well, no, whatever it might be. But just something didn't really connect.
Mhm.
And it could be just they did only had so many episodes. They only had so
Right.
much time to juggle the cast. So it's not 100% negative. But I felt like Hayden, you whooping everybody ass, but for what? Like You the oldest motherfucker in here. I think he's older than
Yeah.
Andre. Like, I don't know.
I think the thing that got me partly with his story was I don't know that we got enough. We got the reason for why he hates doctors. So that's
Hmm.
one thing, and uh, a despicable shout out to his uncle and aunt for throwing
Uncle
his
Otto.
ass, throwing him into a sanatorium
Hmm.
because at least from what I see, um, he suffered from stress, anxiety,
Mm.
at least like over, outside looking in, when he was
Hmm.
younger,
Hmm.
and is how to deal with stress and anxiety.
Mm.
And also, I think he was actually getting close to a panic attack.
Yeah.
So they threw him into a sanatorium for that. So we understand all of that as to why, like, he might be kind of the way he is, but we
Hmm.
don't know what led to him being like that when he was when he was with his mom. And I think they tried to explain something like, when the his now we're going to talk about cartoony bad guys, his and now to be real, I think that there are definitely people out there who's just like, you better toughen the fuck up, just
Yeah.
like whatever.
Hmm.
So I don't think he was cartoony, but he
Not in
really
that.
got on my
Yeah.
nerves. Like, if
Yeah.
Hayden needed to punch somebody, that should have been it, and then he should
Hey.
have just green lighted out of there. That actually would have been great.
Yeah.
um but they kind of talk about, his uncle talks about in that scene where they introduce the younger version of
Hmm.
his sister taking care of him, and then whatever. So I don't think we understand why he was like that up until the point, how he got like that. That was the thing that kind of got me. It feels like there's more to his story.
Yeah, I actually asked if because I'm not, well, not diagnosed anyways, but I'm not like autistic, and I was like, is
Hmm.
Hayden
Oh,
supposed to be
okay.
on the spectrum? Because I don't know, and I don't want to assume just because
Hmm.
he's odd that means he's
Right.
autistic or something.
Right.
But I would, and listeners who's listening and viewers who's watching, if you have
Yeah.
a little bit more insight or if some of his behavior looks like something that you're familiar
Mm.
with, let me know because I don't know. He is odd to an extent,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's just odd from being 91 years old, or is it
Hmm.
odd from you actually have some type of condition, or like you said, possibly anxiety. I don't know what to pin his oddness on,
Right.
and so I wonder if he maybe is on that spectrum. That's
Okay.
that's what I want to know.
Well, that's actually, that's a good point. Um, so anything else about Hayden? Because I know that was like, for me, that was like 50% to 60% of the episode as far as the
Yeah,
discussion.
yeah. I enjoy. Well, okay, when young Hayden first came on screen, I was like,
Yeah.
who is this light skinned boy and who is his mama? But I think that kid actor
He did
did a
good.
damn good job.
Yeah.
I want to see
Hmm.
him in more stuff. Not that Hayden present
Yeah.
day isn't good, but I think
Hmm.
they did a good job at. Um, of course, you can't, unless somebody's related or they're just uncanny looking alike. You're not
Yeah.
always going to get a 1-for-1 match. But I think the more I watch the episode, this little boy who plays young Hayden, I
Hmm.
think he did a good job matching present day Hayden's mannerisms and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, he sold me. By the time we saw him a second time and I think maybe a third, I was all in. Like, okay, yeah, that's Hayden. Um, so good for him.
Yeah.
I will say this show did a really good job with some of their ancillary characters, much like is it not Claudette? What is Doc Andre's ex girlfriend or wife or whatever?
I'd have to go back.
Claire,
Let's
whatever
see.
she is, I like.
Yeah.
I fell for her right away.
Right.
And now with Hayden's mom, and also with the Reverend's baby mama, I was like,
Hmm.
well, what the hell she up to? So I
Hmm.
think they're doing a good job, and it could just be me. I don't know if everybody feels that way, but there are a lot of characters that I'm like, damn, why couldn't they have been swept up in the green light too, so we could see them now? So there's that. Um, Reverend in the church.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a fan of the Reverend. I'm going to
Hmm.
say it again. Y'all already know why. F
Hmm.
him. However, the actor is doing a damn good job
Yeah.
because I do hate him, which I think is a testament to his performance. Um, I also like that whoever's in the writers' room, they're a lot of times they're hitting it. They're doing a damn good
Hmm.
job because as much as I do not like the Reverend, when he turned to Shanice and was like, everybody, like, you think getting out of here is good because it's what you want, but
Yep.
there are a lot of us who do not have anywhere to go. And I was like, damn,
Yeah.
I hate this dude, but he right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't deny that he's telling the truth. Even though it might be, ulterior motives, it doesn't make it any less true
Yeah.
because you get to see your family. So that scene in particular stood out to me, and I loved it. I don't
Mhm.
think we're getting as much revenue as we probably should, but I think we're getting enough that if in season two he's a bigger antagonist, it would make sense with the seeds that they're laying here in season one.
Yeah. He's Jordan.
Yeah,
This cemented him as Jordan for me because
yes,
that I think that hotel, as much as we want them to leave it, um, it's about to be turned into the 4400 Center. That's the
absolutely,
4400 Center from the original
absolutely.
series, and
Hmm.
the fact that they're, like you said, the writers, you can tell that they're doing their homework.
Yeah,
It's just like, sometimes people always they accuse writers who take on these reboots or these remakes is like, you don't even know the source material, and
huh?
you don't know all the Mario Brothers games, or shit like that,
Yeah.
whatever. So,
Hmm.
um, and sometimes it seems that way, I guess. But this, in their the illusions that the parallels I think that they've drawn between the original series and this is not for the sake of just kind of piggybacking off of it.
Hmm.
They're making it its own thing, because one of the things we always talked about, and they would speak about ever so often on the original series, was the convergence of religion
Hmm.
and these super abilities, or these
Yeah.
abilities popping up. So the fact that he's about to, and I don't want to go so far as to make it a cult, I'm not going to say
Yeah.
that, but
Hmm.
he's trying to find a way to keep his flock there. Like you
Yeah.
said, the folks who don't want to go, and
Hmm.
he's leading them.
Yep.
So um, that the thing that I outside of that, the thing that got me about that scene was the actress. Once again, another
The Asian lady.
random. Yeah, I'm trying to find her name.
Bro, I hated
It's
her
her.
too.
It. I think it's. Please forgive me for if I'm mispronouncing this, but Jiyoon Jung. That's her
Mhm,
in the series.
mhm.
It's not that I don't like her. I think that they gave her like a period appropriate kind of hairstyle. I want to say it's like
80s
that actually looked 40s to me, but
with
it could
that
be.
that thing.
No, I thought
Oh,
it was
okay.
like, okay, never mind. I'd have to
What
find it, but
I thought Full House, like the white women in the 80s with the look.
the
That's what it
80s
looked
hair,
like. I was like,
the
what is
80s
this?
hair.
So maybe
She
not.
and she might be she might be from the 80s, but once again, this goes back to, it would be nice if they gave us
Yes.
the names
The
and
description. Yeah.
the abduction date. Like I
Yeah.
really, that's one thing I do want them to do next season. I don't care if
Hmm.
it's copying from the old series. It gives us some
Right.
context for people who sometimes don't listen hard, or who don't have the closed captioning on. Because like when I had to
Yeah.
go back, I was like, oh, okay, this is her name. But getting the time period that she was abducted from would also be helpful.
Hmm.
But I added her to our 4400 abilities list that I have in my steno notebook, because it
Bro.
looked it looked like she can manifest light,
Yeah.
and so the thing that got me about that was the Reverend just revealed that some of these people have abilities to
But
the world.
but not necessarily, and that's
Okay.
what I like because I think if we are in this world and we're
Yeah.
we're accepting everything we're seeing, what he's done, which again, I don't like him, but I love the show and I think they did a good job with him, is
Hmm.
solidified himself as a major player, not just as a 4400 member, but in Christianity. This
Okay.
to me,
Yeah.
I saw that as a miracle. I didn't see that
There you
as
go. There you go.
revealing
Okay. Yeah.
the
Awesome.
4400. And
Right.
so if you this he is so evil, but I love it because if he is the one, remember at Belial, Claudette knew about her powers first, but he was the one who got, the praise for whatever.
Yeah.
If he is going to be the major player, the Jordan Collier, the one who shows that things are miracles, everybody after that broadcast who is a 4400 who exhibits an ability who is around him or even outside of him, he can now
Hmm.
take claim on that. Like, now, I am, maybe
Wow.
not directly, I'm God and I own this,
Yeah.
but like, I, as the leader of the 4400, I bring you these miracles, I bring
Hmm.
you these whatever. So he just, Hey,
Yeah. This
he ugh.
no finish what you're saying.
No,
I'm
no,
sorry.
that he just no, that's it. That just that mega church background
Yeah.
really came in handy.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with him or not. And so I don't know. I'm pleasantly surprised.
Surprise. Yeah, no, that's, I mean, that, and looking at it from that perspective, that's actually really good. I mean, especially with the miracles, because this is definitely like 10 steps above
Hmm.
Benny Hinn running and smacking somebody upside the head and they go like this and then just like fall out.
Yeah.
Like you literally saw a light. So, okay,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, shout out to the Reverend.
Whew.
The I'm trying to think because like the big part, it seemed like 60% of this was, I'd say 50% of this episode was Hayden.
Yeah.
Let me get my math right. And 40% was the heist, what I call it. And then 10% was everything in between. So like the
Yeah.
10%, it was a couple of things like um, I really enjoyed and we can do that for like my favorite scenes.
Yeah.
Um, the other part that stood out for me was um, Shanice and Keisha. I
Mm.
think one of the things that got me is after last week's episode where we got to see more of Keisha's background
Hmm.
and kind of why the way that she is, and also her kind of coming around on the 4400. I'm
Yeah.
tired of them playing her. Like I don't.
Same.
I'm kind of at a point where I'm just like, and I'm glad that at the end of the episode, after the heist, after what happens. I'm
Hmm.
glad that she and Jarrell are brought into the fold
Absolutely.
because when she was talking with Shanice at the bar and was just like asking questions, she
Yeah.
was it was like she she's like, what is it? DJ Khaled says, you played yourself.
Yeah.
I just felt bad for her. And it's a testament to the show that they've gotten me to a point with that character where I'm just like, yo, just bring them in,
Yeah.
just bring her in. So that was,
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting scene, and he kind of tied to that where she said something about the Justice League.
Yes.
And at the beginning, somebody mentions, oh, it's Keisha. She says, 50's housewife is Wolverine.
Yeah. Also, Claudette told her she was like, "I'm the first Black Wonder Woman." Like
Right?
Claudette
Yeah,
told her
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So like, I was like, "All right, shout out to Nubia, shout out to Stephanie Williams.
I know it.
Nubia
Yeah.
in stores now."
And
But yeah,
if you're not reading that series, pick it up. Pick it up.
please.
Pick it up. Because we keep asking for it. So, anyways, but
Hey, look,
um, there so that was kind of a part of the 10% because I think when we get to the heist, the big thing that happens towards the end, I got a lot to say. So was there anything outside of the heist that kind of stood out to you?
um, I'll say Mariah and Hayden's relationship.
Hmm.
I with Hayden and Mildred, I always saw them as friends.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of kind of sort of romance, but I always saw them
Hmm.
as friends. With Mariah and Hayden, I'm not certain. I see them as friends, but there's these when they have these conversations, there's this I don't I guess the way the camera kind of lingers on her is like is she like looking at him lovingly? Not that
Hmm.
all of that I have a lot of stock in that, but that's something that I'm kind of like just throwing out there because I don't know how they're going to play him and Mariah. I would
Hmm.
love for them to just be friends, so you don't have to couple up every, you know, team together. But there's something about their interactions.
Hmm.
I would like for them to be friends because I would like for Mariah to be folded more into the show. I like the idea that we have these humans, the non 4400. Like, I mean, we got Jarrell and we got Keisha, but
Yeah.
then having a person who isn't a 4400 who is a child who just grew up regularly. I
Right.
like have folding her in because you get that young element. And then if we're going to do some silly let me teach you how to use Snapchat type thing, to me it makes more sense coming from Mariah to Hayden
Hmm.
versus LaDonna to Doc Andre, because like, yeah, LaDonna's young, but LaDonna's a grown woman. So
Right.
I like the Mariah Hayden stuff. Yeah, that's where I am. Is that it? Oh, Doc Andre taking that video. this was one of the funniest parts of this series to me. Like, and I mean, I'm not even kidding. Like, I was literally laughing,
Yeah,
holding my sides
yeah,
when they
yeah,
showed him at first with the camera looking at the code, and then when he
yeah.
brought the phone back to LaDonna, seeing that video,
Hmm.
that was funny as hell. I'm
It
sorry.
took, yeah. Now that I was gonna lump that in with the heist
Okay,
because
okay.
but no, that was the goofiest shit I'd seen in a minute.
And
And his face, uh his face during that scene was shout out to T.L. Thompson.
yes,
Because I wanted to see like if there are bloopers of him going,
yeah,
ooh, ah, yeah.
yeah,
And it was just
yeah,
like, do you not know how to be inconspicuous? Even
at
if
all.
you're like, I could see him holding the phone, but like even his face was like he was like excited that he was getting these shots,
Yeah,
which is pretty funny. And one of the things we talk about is like there wasn't like a lot of humor in the original
mm-mm,
series, so when we're getting
mm-mm.
it here, it is different, but it works.
Yeah.
Um, and I loved it. I love that part. And so in the other, and we'll let's go to the heist.
Okay, come on,
The
come on,
the bullied heist.
bruh.
Um, so the there were moments that I enjoyed it a lot, but
Hmm.
there was a certain choices were kind of weird to me. The
Okay,
biggest
come on.
thing was when they go into this ward, and the nurse at the station that they talked to when Andre and Jarrell went there said
Yeah.
they sectioned off this ward for the 4400. So
Hmm.
my y'all didn't keep this place up because the lighting was bad. It
Yo.
looked like there were blood stains, which I'm pretty sure were rust stains dripping down the wall.
Hmm. Hmm.
And the thing that I understand is that they were trying to capture a certain type of mood. I think you can still do that with the hospital looking the same. But the other part of that is they probably filmed this in a different location
Yeah, had to.
the actual hospital. So,
Mhm.
but my thing was, it just looked like bad guys work here. It
Yes.
just looked like
God,
bad
yes.
guys.
God, yes. Yeah, it did. It was very Resident Evil, and I was like,
Yeah,
okay, what is
yeah.
this?
And it was weird, I was like, why are the lights so dark? Like,
Yeah, yeah. Even the what was it? The security guards with the guns. It was like, what? Put them in scrubs. Like, put them in a more.
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, it was terrible.
yeah, I can see that. I mean, them holding and I think there were tranquilizer guns that they
Oh, that's
had.
okay. Cause
Yeah,
I
I mean, I'm assuming, because like
okay.
I'm thinking that they want to try to keep these people alive instead of just like, oh shit, her
Yeah.
wings flapped, and then they just
Hmm.
shoot him with an AK-47 or some shit.
Oh,
But I'm pretty sure that maybe they do have. I thought those were tranquilizer. I mean, guns or
I could
whatever,
see that. Yeah. Hmm.
but I could be wrong. So that was kind of one thing where I was just like, this shit is so dark. But everything else outside of that worked. LaDonna, my
Ha! Come on.
God,
Come on.
yeah, LaDonna killed it. And the
Yes.
actor who played Miguel and the actress who
Hmm.
played Jessica,
Hmm.
capturing her mannerisms
Yes.
was
Yes.
hilarious. What were your
Yes.
thoughts about that?
I loved it. I was
Mhm.
tweeting. I said, I tweeted LaDonna directly. I said, "Hey, homeboy who played Miguel has watched you," because that was the
Exactly.
first. I was like, "Wait a minute," because I'm watching him. Not really. I was tweeting and watching it,
Hmm.
and when I saw him, like the way he was
Yeah,
kind of leaning in as he walked,
yeah,
I was like, "Oh, this man is an actor." And
yeah,
even like you said, the woman Jessica, when she walked up with them shoulders, I was like, "Yeah, this is really good."
yeah.
I think I'm so excited about this series for things like that because I'm such an X-Men nerd. Like this
Hmm.
really did it for me, and
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough. But yeah, I was for it.
His
I was for it.
the actor's name is Ulysses Espinoza, the guy
Okay,
who played
Ulysses
the guy
Miguel.
who played Miguel, and Jessica Wilder Yari.
Oh
So yeah, special shout out to them. But I like
yes,
how they're using the abilities. Um, I wonder if like if we get, let's say CW was just like, I'm gonna give you double the budget for like next season if we get
Yeah.
to see her actually go through the transformation, or if we get to see her,
Yeah.
because right now it's just kind of like off camera, and then they,
Mhm.
they'll cut away, and then the actress that
Yeah.
plays LaDonna is there. So it's not a critique. It's just like, I think,
Mhm.
I wonder how big they can get with their
Yeah.
abilities. The whole place had a Weapon X type of vibe.
Hey,
Um,
yes, honestly.
yeah, especially when they found the bird lady, the lady
Archangel. Mhm. One
Archangel.
more
Yep,
than two.
they
Yep.
found Archangel
And Johnny Storm.
and
Mhm.
Johnny Storm. So actually, without even knowing their names, I just added them to my list. I got my Cerebro going.
Come on.
I call her Bird Woman. Say she can fly. That common sense would dictate that she can fly with wings. And
Mhm.
I Fireman.
Fireman. You know what? I love that. I'm
Y'all I
for
write comics.
it. Oh man.
um, but and I just thought that maybe he was a pyrokinetic, but just seeing them in that spot,
Mhm.
that's the revelation.
Yeah.
Everybody, the government knows that something is
Mhm.
going on now. They don't know specifically who's what, and actually, no, that speaks to why did they bring they brought Mildred there for you remember they brought her there because she got cut, she got hurt.
Mhm. Mhm.
Did they know before that she was a telekinetic, or did they realize that after she got there?
Right.
Yeah,
Who knows? Who knows?
yeah,
Because if anybody, well, no, Claudette has some, well, whatever. But yeah, who knows? Who knows?
yeah. And that was so that, like, the timing, and even in episode 5 when Bill Green was just like, we have them in the larger cage, and all those dots on the map where the
Mhm.
4400 are.
Mhm.
This just kind of confirmed that they know, but it was just like, so
Yeah.
when did they know, and who told them?
Mhm.
Was it Cora?
Oh God, yeah, I hate her, man.
if
Oh, but yeah, no, and kind of to your point,
Mhm.
we are getting everything from Detroit's
Yep.
perspective. Who's to
Hmm.
say that when they first got back and got split up, we didn't see powers at a different facility,
Yep.
and we, as the audience watching the Detroit facility, are getting it delayed. Like
Hmm.
so they could have already known. So, oof, that is,
Yeah.
oof, shit getting
It,
real.
it's going to be interesting because I think that one of the things I hope and it happens in the later seasons is that they start focusing on the other facilities, because
Hmm.
there's all this talk. We always talked about this with the original one. It's just like they had 44,400 people in one
Hmm.
location. Not saying that it's
Hmm.
not big enough to hold that many people, but
Hmm.
we only got like a sprinkling,
Yep.
of those folks. So that's one of the things I did like about this is that they have everybody spread out so that we
Hmm.
have these different bases, these
Yeah.
different facilities or whatnot.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, so Mildred,
Yo,
Mildred,
yo,
you
I
were talking
was
about
clapping.
gratuitous violence.
Damn, I was on her side. I didn't care.
Yeah,
I didn't
mhm,
care.
yeah, that man turned
Yeah.
into Gumby. Um,
Hmm.
he, she, she's becoming one of my favorites. I mean, I'm a big fan of telekinesis. I always feel that telekinesis is an awesome ability. Shout out to Jean Grey.
Hmm.
You know,
Carrie.
90s. What'd you say?
I said, and Carrie too.
And
Hell, from
Carrie,
this
yeah,
episode.
Carrie, exactly. But Jean Grey's abilities have always been, interesting to me. But also, they would give her that aura. I
Yes.
always call it the '90s aura. So
Yes.
you could see the
Yes.
telekinesis.
Yes.
But when she flipped out
Whew.
in a justified way,
Whew.
and they went there with her, Dr. Andre was like, the body is not supposed to it's not built to withstand such pain. And I was just like,
Yo,
you are
he
a
is.
doctor.
He
You are a
right.
doctor.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good effect. I think I watched one of the actors did. I think it was Hayden. Hayden did like an Instagram takeover,
Yeah. That was
and
hated for that one.
yeah, and had posted a video of that stunt, and just to kind of see how they kind of pulled it off, I thought was pretty awesome.
Cool.
Um, but yeah, I Mildred went there, and notice how they had her face wrapped up,
Hmm.
like, and so it lets you, it suggests that it has to be in her line of sight for
Hmm.
her to use her ability. But what were we about to say?
Also, they have those power dampening collars. Like they had, I want to say when they first start going through well, no, let me not say that. Dr. Andre said it. Oh God, I forget what he said verbatim, but it was something about those collars because
Hmm.
everybody in every room, though they did exhibit some powers,
Mm,
they still had those collars on, and the homeboy fireman was stuck to the chair. Like
yeah,
he was stuck to the chair on fire. The bird lady was just
yeah,
standing up, stuck, and so I'm like, they have enough power to get out of this room. There's something
yeah.
stopping them, you know.
Wow,
So
it's crazy. So yeah, so that's and I think that even the whole way that it went down, as far as I keep calling it the heist,
hmm
with them getting the radios. At one point, I think Hayden had a vision of guards coming down a certain hallway, and
I
he
love
was like,
that.
"Don't turn down that." So I thought like them. Even though I felt it was outlandish for Hayden to bully them into doing this, the way that it went down was
Yeah,
worked,
yeah.
and it was enough. And then, like I said, outside of the setting, and maybe the setting worked to their favor because they were able to kind of creep in like every shadow
hmm
that was there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
But with the setting, one scene I completely forgot, which I think this setting works for that, is when Hayden
mhm.
had that nervous breakdown. When
Oh,
him and
for
Doc
the
Andre,
yeah, hmm,
yeah, having that flashback, because I mean,
hmm,
a hospital is a hospital regardless. Like,
yeah,
it's there's been changes aesthetically throughout the years, but
yeah,
this particular setting to me, I guess, and I could be wrong, just looked old enough that this would trigger something with Hayden being 91 years old. Like this looked
yeah,
old enough to be familiar.
right,
So I don't know. Maybe that was part of it. Maybe not. Maybe I'm projecting. But um, yeah, I like that. I like
yeah,
that nervous
and
breakdown.
I think even giving him his when you say roses or flowers for that scene alone,
Oh, come
where
on.
when he explained, what had happened, he like literally like after his mom, left him and just died,
Hmm
I felt that the actor did a really good job with that, and in the setting that, like you said, does speak to the stuff that
hmm
he went through. Because one of the things that I kind of I think we nerd out about over here in the Jeffrey household are like
hmm
those ghost adventure type of shows, the
hmm
ghost investigation shows. And one of the
hmm
places that they'll visit on the regular, like in all of these shows, are
hmm hmm
former sanatoriums or
hmm
former, and I don't want to say insane asylums because I know that's like the wrong thing to say, but
hmm
um, just say sanatorium. So, and
hmm
then, but when you hear about the history of some of these spots, how the people were mistreated, and
hmm
some people was like, well, it's just a different time, and I was like, but you still know how to treat a person like a human being,
Right. Right.
But and so a lot of people they died in horrible circumstances, and they were treated,
hmm
horribly in these places. And apparently, like in these ghost investigation shows, their ghosts are still there haunting the places. So
Ooh.
yeah, no, this is crazy. Like Travel
Yeah.
Channel, the Travel Channel barely does
Yes.
shows about travel anymore. They just do
Right.
ghost, they do paranormal. They're like,
Uh,
I mean, you want to travel to these places? They don't.
yeah.
If you want to find out about traveling to a wonderful place, don't watch the Travel Channel.
At
If you
all.
want to watch paranormal shit all day, watch that. I just need them
Yeah.
to change the channel, the name of that
The
channel,
name,
because like,
yes.
yeah. So,
Ghost
but at
Hunters.
least because they Travel Channel
Hmm
ain't worth shit when it comes to traveling.
Look.
Um, Shout out to Ghost Adventures, the most broiest of ghost investigation shows.
Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, it's bad. It is so bad. You have like a guy in a muscle shirt trying to punch Ghost. It is the best. It is
What?
the yes.
Ah,
Like you got to bet
okay.
if you ever want to do a if you want to do one season of that for a review, you would be
Ghost.
entertained.
Yo.
Ghost Adventures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me write that
Um,
down.
Funny thing is, they get some of the best evidence on camera of like hauntings, but it
Mm,
is very broy.
okay.
So it's tangent ended. Um, but that's what this place looks like to me. It looks like a. And the other thing is, if a hospital is running, there's a hospital being run. Um, they just let this place go to shit. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it seems weird. So, but anyways, but the heist goes down. Um, the thing that gets me about this is that Mariah gets not he she has a broken tail light because she's a getaway driver,
Hmm.
and she gets she a cop pulls her, not pulls her over, but comes over, gives her the heads up, like, you know, what are you doing here? And then she's like, I got to make a call. So when she calls Logan, Logan comes, you know, saves the day, pulls everybody out. So my big thing from this is like, this is two circumstances in which Mariah has been called by the authorities. When does the excuse of being a teenager not become like, you can't keep going to this? Like, the fact that the government let her off with a slap on the wrist for leaking, like, I don't, this, it just, and then this circumstance where the cop was like, okay, well, you're driving a car on a learner's permit and
Yeah.
now your dad's here. Like, I'm just kind of wondering, I don't want them to keep going to this well, but they've done this like one episode after the
Hmm.
other.
Hmm.
um, any thoughts on that, or because and then I got some other Logan related.
It is, yeah, it is. It leans right into what I said earlier, like the evil white man.
Mhm.
Like again, the cop didn't do anything, but optics, like we knew what it
Yeah,
is they were setting up with this white cop and this little girl or
yeah,
this child or whatever. And I'm not really so mad at that. Um, I guess it was kind of the MacGuffin situation where we needed them to get caught and for Logan to,
yeah.
swoop
To get
in.
there.
But why didn't they get away? Like they could have gotten away. It still
Hmm.
could have been a sloppy, messed up getaway, but I don't think we. I mean, I get why we needed Logan because that next scene, but I was like, this is. I don't know. I didn't really care for that part of the
That part of it.
story. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't
It
really.
just it was weird, and you know, like I said, we just two circumstances of her getting caught up with like major authority, you know, just like authorities, and it's
Hmm.
so we get to the next scene where Logan's like, well, I'm gonna ground her for life, and Logan has been weird these few
Yes.
past episodes. Um, I just that's what I said. Logan is weird. He says he's gonna in quotes punish Mariah, who got caught
Hmm.
up with the authorities twice, and then praises Hayden for
Bro,
putting
yeah,
his daughter in danger.
I hate Logan. Not really, not really. I don't.
No, I mean
Coco, I don't.
they're writing
Yeah,
him weird, man.
it
They're
is.
writing him weird.
I want to say they're writing him weird, especially when last episode,
Hmm.
because of I guess whatever jealousy you have, you yell at Shanice about
Yep.
she posted that video and it's all because you're back in her life, you're dangerous, but then you welcome one of these 4,400 in your house, which is
Right.
fine, be a good Samaritan. But
Hmm.
then, like you said, hate is the reason she's doing it. You can't blame everything on Shanice, and you definitely can't blame everything on Shanice when Shanice ain't been here for 16 years.
Yeah.
You and Bridget have been raising this girl. Let's put some of the blame
Right.
on y'all. Like, I'm like, you
Yeah.
blaming this black woman, and not even to like make it about race, but it is. You're blaming this black woman for shit that she didn't even do. Both
Right.
instances, it was something LaDonna did, and Shanice get blamed for it, and something Hayden did. And I really wanted Shanice to punch Logan in the stomach. Like, nigga, you really
Exactly.
think I would have let our daughter be a part of this?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you should move in with us, because I'm like, what, bro? You are the devil. You
Yeah.
are the devil.
It's just, yeah, and that I'm glad you brought that point up, is that he keeps dogging Shanice
Hmm.
when you haven't even given her a chance to be the mom that she wants to be.
Come
Because
on.
you worried that something's going to rub off or whatever, or that you're going to complicate this relationship even further. But you gave the okay for your ex to move in until you found out
Bro.
that your daughter, I don't want to say not committed treason, but she did what she did. Now, albeit it was for a good cause, but
Hmm.
to think that, like you said, she was it just fell on. I don't know, like that. I'm getting tired of that narrative. And this was weird as fuck because he was like, Hayden is a fine, upstanding man, and I
No.
like cooking crockett pots for him. Whatever the
I,
fuck he made at the beginning, he
yeah.
was like, hey, Hayden, do you like the crockett pots? And he was
Yeah,
like,
he's like,
no, I love them. I know it's not called crocky pots. I mean, I'm just saying crock pots, but I
Serial
couldn't
killer.
remember. It was
Yeah.
like kettle corn or some shit that they used
Yeah,
to eat back in
something.
the 30s. So it just he's there. Nothing against the actor, but they're doing him weirdly.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so um, and so I think to wrap up this episode,
Hmm.
this one, the final scene with whatever I created Generation X in my mind, and it's Mariah, Hayden, Mildred, and rest in peace Noah, because I don't know what the fuck Noah is.
Yes, because is he not dead? Because, bro,
I don't know.
Noah been going for, he gonna pop up in season 4. Like, there's no way.
Well, the thing that I love is that the way that they explained Claudette away this episode was that she was nesting in her new apartment. So all this bullshit was happening, and she's gonna pop up like next episode. Whoa, this is
Yes.
crazy. But my apartment though, um,
No, for real. For
yeah,
real. Oh, shit.
that was hilarious. But no, Generation X, Noah's nowhere to be seen. And Mildred has seen some shit that'll turn you white. You remember Ghostbusters?
That,
Shout out to
yes.
Ghostbusters. Sorry.
Ah,
Um,
yeah.
and
That's,
they give her a storyline that I don't think we knew about.
at all. I was like, who are you talking about? You think I'll find her? Mildred, who? Who are you going to find? Sis, what the hell are you talking about?
Right.
I, yeah.
I thought
Maybe the
Mildred. No,
white
say what you
lady,
was.
maybe the white lady who
You
I
think
don't
it's
like.
Cora? That would be
I,
great. If
it's like,
no.
who else?
So in my mind, when he showed up with that suitcase in the alleyway, I was just like, this makes sense because your stupid ass plan called for her to hide out in a hotel, swarming with feds and security guards. Where he's going to run
Yo,
her from room to room. So anyway, so that's the one thing because I when he said that. I was just like, you a teenager thinking of some like
yes.
of whatever. So, and I know that there are adults who don't know how to pull off a heist, but that was like some limited rationale. Like you were going to hide her. So the second thing that got me, so that's why I thought she was leaving
Hmm.
because she realized like that was a stupid ass plan. I got to get out.
Yeah.
But then when she said, I have to, you think I can help her? I was like,
Who?
ooh. I was like, who, yo?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, they had a conversation off screen. Um, and
The
then
end
like
credit scene.
he
Mm.
had the fast forward, not the fast forward.
Oh, the
He had
premonition, the
the
vision.
premonition, yeah, of her. Why did they give her a bulletproof vest?
Why was she a SWAT member? Like,
Exactly.
yeah, this Tom Clancy ass storyline. I was like, what is going on?
It's
What
Rainbow
is,
Six.
no, for real?
It's
Cause
Rainbow
like,
Six. And I
oh
don't mind that they're going this direction, but first of all, like we didn't know who she was talking about. Would have been nice in an early conversation if she and then she don't have to go into detail, but
hmm,
drop breadcrumbs. So that caught us unawares. And
yes.
the thing with her now, I'm interested in
Hmm.
her rating a place because this goes to, her them using the abilities to go on the offensive.
Hmm.
Normally we would just get people using abilities to kind of show off and stuff or whatever. So we know shit's going to get grimy.
Hmm.
We don't know. And the thing I did like about Hayden's arc in this is like we got to see his premonitions, but we also got to see how they can become distorted. Not
Hmm.
distorted, but how you can read them differently.
Yep.
So everything's
That's so
not
Raven. Hmm.
right. So that I only watched oh man, I never watched it when it was on, but we had
Hmm.
family over, and
Yes.
we put on the one with them being adults, the That's a Raven, and I was just like, whoa, she is still making money. But I had
Yes.
never seen the ability, and I was like, this shit is trippy. Um, so so yeah, that's a Raven of it. But I did appreciate how they have been showing his abilities versus how like with Maya in the original series, we didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. So
Hmm.
um, so that was that kind of was the big thing with the end. I mean, was there anything that you wanted to add to that or?
Everything. Because let me tell you about this goddamn episode. Okay, two things. Kind of piggybacking off episode 5 with them tracking the 4400 via the phones. at first I was like, this is stupid. But I
Yeah.
think that with the literal world that we live in, it would
Yeah.
have been kind of skating the line to inject them with anything because we
Right.
are dealing with people who are anti-vaxxers and people who are getting vaccinated.
Hmm.
What whatever. I don't want
Yeah.
to shame for whatever. Do what you're gonna do. But I think in the actual climate that we live in, it would have been, I don't want to say irresponsible, but it would have been slightly irresponsible to be like, oh, they gave them an injection and that's how they're tracking them. So the
Hmm.
phone thing makes sense. I'm just hoping that they can keep that up because if I'm 4,400, I don't care what time frame I've come from. Why wouldn't I, once I get a job, get my own phone? Why would I
Right.
keep a 4,400 phone? So I'm
Right.
hoping that that doesn't become an issue, or we can kind of explain that away a bit. The powers, everybody is the Omega level like immediately, and I'm not even mad at it. Like
Yeah.
Ladonna, and this is the one thing that I said, either it was just them putting the show together, or Ladonna is really just that powerful. When she turned to Jennifer or Jessica
Hmm.
or whatever,
Jessica. Yeah.
and had that gun in her hand, that tranquilizer gun, because it's one thing to turn into a person, but did she manifest that out of nowhere? Like, how would
I
she know
don't.
she would have needed that?
I don't
So
know that she. I hope she didn't manifest it. I mean,
that,
like, yeah,
hey,
I'm assuming that like she picked it up on the way there, right?
yeah,
Um, I
I'm
don't
hoping I'm
know. I
just being
mean,
a nerd and I'm like thinking too much because I'm like, she's really powerful.
she's Omega
Like,
level. I love it.
her, and then even with the doctor, his
Mhm.
powers. So,
Yeah.
again, shout out to God Given on Twitter. We've been live tweeting back to
Yeah.
back, kind of tag teaming, and they mentioned, I said, oh, the doc healed him, and God Given
That's what I
was like,
forgot. Yeah.
no, yeah, he said maybe he didn't heal him, maybe he took on his kind of pain. I healed him, yeah, but took on some of his pain by healing him. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. So
But we have a precedent for that. That's Sean.
yes, yes,
Sean. So
that's
yeah.
what I'm
So
saying. Like
yeah.
the rollout, I'm loving the rollout of these
Yeah.
powers because I think they're doing a
Hmm.
good job at making you care for the characters,
Yeah.
and just creating an interesting show. So that we've waited this episode 6 to see the doc do
He,
anything
yeah.
powerful. And then even with Shanice kind of going to her powers, I don't know. Again, I could just be a nerd about it, but when viewing whatever visions are, it must be a shared experience because the doc saw her seeing him
Hmm.
tuck her in. So I was
Hmm.
like, God, like they're really doing
Yeah.
a lot of interesting things with these powers that I don't really see being explored like that in other shows, or a lesser show would just say, "Oh, she can just touch you and see your vision." Like they're handling a
Hmm.
lot of this with care, and even Mildred, like going full Phoenix Force.
Yeah.
This episode was like, God damn,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my little
Your 2 cents. Your
yeah,
your
yeah.
4,400 cents.
There we go, there we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what I got. That's pretty much what I have.
I think,
Yeah,
and thank you for bringing up Dr. Andre again,
yeah.
because I completely forgot about that. Or
Hmm.
it was in my notes and I was just like, oh, I missed it.
Yeah.
But so for this episode, before we get to any comments, who's your favorite character
Who? I don't know, man. I think LaDonna, and by extension everybody, every actor who
who
mimicked
played?
her, because that was
Hmm.
just, I thought they
Yeah.
did a really good job. So I'm gonna go with LaDonna for this one. LaDonna and Company.
I didn't really speak too much about her because I think I would have because I we had, like I said, the heist was like the biggest thing,
Yeah.
but I really enjoyed Ruth Turner.
Mm.
um I really enjoyed her and the moments that she had with Hayden. And
Hmm.
piggybacking off of that, I'll say my favorite scene was her explaining why she couldn't play chess, and it was
Mm. Mm.
in such a way where she was very I need people to be like this instead of being like, shut the fuck up and go play video games.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, they're the way she dealt with him, and if he was autistic,
Hmm.
or was dealing with whatever he's dealing with, she
Hmm.
was able to kind of calm him down
Mhm.
and then but also explain to him in a very sensible way, like, I
Mhm.
still have to do what I need to do, and
Yeah.
this is a way that you can still play chess, and get what you want.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it
You know
was.
what? I want to change my answer.
No, you can change it. You can change
No,
it like
cause
this.
she no, because I'm with you. Cause even
Hmm.
when they did the food thing, she was like, "I told my sister not to give you such such. Why didn't you stand up for yourself?" She didn't treat
Hmm.
him like
Nope.
a helpless kid. So
Yeah.
dang.
Yeah. She
Oh,
and I'll find that actress's name. She Celeste Cooper. Um,
okay.
I think that the show is doing a good job of giving us like side characters who are like they showing up to act.
Hey,
And I just for some reason she stood out to me, and I just felt that she was so sweet,
yes,
but she was understanding.
yes, I
Um,
agree. I agree.
yeah. What was your favorite scene?
My favorite scene, jeez. Um, honestly, Mildred going full
Yeah.
Phoenix Force.
Yep.
Um, one because that actor's been such a sweet girl.
Hmm.
Even following her on Twitter, I think she's just such a nice little
Yeah.
sweet teenager. I don't know whatever. She's younger than me. Everybody younger than me is
Hmm.
15. So, but she was so sweet. And then
Yeah.
seeing this switch,
Yep.
like I loved it. I was
Hmm.
clapping for her. I was applauding her. I was like, yeah, and
Yeah.
because seeing the change where even after when she was sitting at the bar with Mariah, this not funny, but she was like, Mariah's like, oh, it was pretty fun. She was like, I was trapped in a hospital.
Exactly.
And you,
Come on.
what do you mean fun? I was like, yo,
Read the room.
yo,
Read the room. Like she's like,
yes,
come on, Mariah.
I
Read the
loved it.
motherfucking room.
Yes, but no, I like her because I like how things are changing. So I think
Hmm.
that scene in particular, that Phoenix Force kick your ass scene, I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. So yeah, that's my
Yeah.
favorite scene.
Who was your least favorite character?
Um, Dang, who would be? I want to say Uncle Otto, but that's too easy.
It's an
I'm
easy
forgetting
one.
him. Um, Least favorite. Who do we even have? I can't even say the Reverend because he was making some points this
Yeah.
episode. Um, I don't know, and I don't even want to say Logan because none of my critique is different from what I've had before.
Hmm.
Um, the show. I think the show is my least favorite because of that
Hmm.
Mildred thing at the end, and that like Buffalo Soldier, Iraqi Soldier.
Hmm.
I don't that I think was the worst. Even that was even more worse than my feelings about Logan. So I'm gonna say the show was my least favorite character for that scene. What the hell was that?
Gotcha. I thought you were just talking about that face that I made.
Oh, no. uh,
I was thinking like, what? Whoa, Robert. So, I made a Dr. Andre face. Mm. Um, I'll just go the easy route. It's Logan for me.
oh,
Like
get him.
I think because like I had two episodes back to back of them having him appear weird and going
Hmm.
after Shanice. I there I don't know. I maybe there was something to be said for in the previous episode that they had Lily's husband have like no screen time on the
Yeah,
series because
yeah.
but I do I still like the storyline of this displaced mom, time displaced mom, having
Hmm.
to deal with her ex-husband at this
Yeah.
point, and her daughter.
Hmm.
That she doesn't know anything about. So for that, he's going to have to play a part. But it just seems like he's going back and forth. They're having him go back and forth, and I haven't seen really any consistency
Hmm.
um, in terms of his why he's acting the way that he is. But that this is
Hmm.
my 2 cents. Nothing against the actor. I
Right, right.
just
He's good.
I don't like what they're doing with his character.
Hmm.
Um, and so yeah, favorite scene, least favorite scene, and favorite character. So as far as what did I say? Rating of
Hmm.
you know what? I didn't even give this a wacky rating system.
Hmm.
Actually, no. There we go. Um, out of however many rubber band arms,
Oh my
rubber
god.
band Gumby guard arms,
Yo, fam.
what would be what's your rating for this?
I'm honestly, I'm even with the critiques I've had, I'm gonna go with like a 8. I'll even say maybe a 8.5 episode 9, because I
Okay.
really think that they stepped up a lot. And with this feeling like we're ramping up to the end of the season
Hmm.
and probably the next couple episodes, I think this was a pretty solid episode.
Okay.
Mhm.
For me, it's a 7. It's a 7. Yeah. I mean, I think there was a lot of good that happened, but I think like we had a question. We questioned the
uh,
plan or the motivations of
you're right.
no,
You're
no, you can
right.
keep it
No, no,
at
I'm
the
gonna
8.
keep it. I'm gonna keep
Yeah,
it. But I'm
keep it at
like,
the 8.
this
Keep it at the 8.
mysterious.
And
She would be all
then
right.
but we talked about this when it came to Black Lightning. We were
Mm.
very critical of the show when they would just introduce shit out of left field.
Yes,
And
God.
so them ending this whole thing of like her now on this quest. And viewers, if y'all are watching this, you remember her mentioning like going to save somebody or trying to, deal with some shit.
Please
Like
let us know.
I've been trying to be very like if I miss something, then let me know. But it
Hmm.
kind of through it would have been like between the 7.5 and the 7.8. I mean the 7.5 and the 7.8. 7.5 and
Hmm.
8 for me. If those two things hadn't happened, like I said, there something with that Hayden situation, at
Hmm.
least in the present, wasn't vibing with me as much as I thought it would.
Yeah, yeah, you're
So,
right.
so like I said, at least I ain't no 5 or 6, but
Oh yeah,
7 is kind of where I'm at right now.
I can see that. And there wasn't no Claudette, so for me that marks it down a bit. I'm gonna stick with my original rating because I didn't think about that, but it wasn't no Claudette, so they already
Got
get
you.
1 point off. No, good,
Literally,
good,
like
good.
if she shows up and says, "Whoa, what
Yeah,
happened?" That's gonna be
look,
hilarious.
hey, I'm ready. I'm
Yeah.
ready for it. Okay, we got a few somethings. We got a few
Okay.
somethings. We got Anthony CBN. There we go. Mark, see it. Yep, let's go. All right, so let's see. Shane says, I used to agree with Rain on most things, but that's a no. That's too messy. But I'm assuming Shane is referring to the love square and not the
Yeah,
love
the love
triangle.
square.
Oh man. Okay, let's see. He also says, take her out. She's too many things that people in those spaces I don't like. Oh, I do not remember what that was in reference to. Do you think? You think you might
Just
know,
many
Robert?
things that the
No.
people in those spaces don't like. Um, I don't know
That
if
could.
I don't think he's talking about Keisha.
Okay.
Um, but I'm not too
Oh,
sure.
Soraya. Soraya. Of course, this has to be Soraya. Too many things
Oh,
to the
take her
people.
out. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah, it
mean,
has to be
yeah, I mean
Soraya.
that she's that would be on her, but I don't
Yeah.
think that she should be. I don't think she should be written out of the show. I
Oh, yeah,
mean,
no, no, no.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
yeah. No, no. I'm a fan. So,
yeah.
let's say-
No, she was Marco. She was Marco before they took her in for like 8 days.
right, 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 right.
I'm against
I'm
this, but
against this,
I'll
but I'll
tune
tune
in.
in. Well, come on, Shay. Tune in, tune in. So no, yeah. I'm enjoying the series. I am
Yeah,
really excited to see where they go. I want to say, I think, like you maybe mentioned at the top of the episode, I think it is 10 episodes. I think.
I'm thinking
Um,
10.
yeah, I think it'll take us right to the um end of the episode, end of the
Yeah,
year. So, oof,
yeah.
I don't know. What you got?
Um, I got a. Well, I'm gonna toss out a shout out to a Kickstarter we
Yes,
got going.
yes.
Before I forget, for if anybody's watching or watches this within the next 8 days, I have a Kickstarter that I'm a part of, writer for a series called Changa and the Jade Obelisk. It's a African set fantasy adventure, um, and originally written as a novel or novella by
Hmm.
Milton Davis and adapted into a comic book series with, like I said, written by me, published by 133 Art. Shout out to Jason and Kimmy Reeves,
Hmm.
and shout out to actually the Mind to Avenge team on the
Hey,
book, Matteo Illuminati and Laura
hey.
Sorvina. And so, if you know anything about Mind to Avenge, as far as the story, the artwork, that's the same quality storytelling that you're getting with Changa and the Jade Obelisk. So definitely support us. We did a short Kickstarter campaign. We have 8 days to go. With
Hmm.
our goal is 7,500, and right now we're at 5306.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
so anything that you can pledge or share will be
Yes, yes.
helpful. And I think that's about it. So shout out to the team, and we've been working our butts off to get the money raised.
Hey,
So, and thanks to everybody who's supported us and helped us out.
yes, indeed. And we're going to put that link in the show notes of this. So if you're on YouTube, check the show notes. And if you're on your podcasting platform, check the show notes, and there'll be a link for the Kickstarter listed there. Yes, support these creators and Minds
Yeah,
of Beings. Yeah, that's
man.
that's some good stuff.
Thank you, man. Thanks.
Yes, yes. Oh man. So I don't know. Any final thoughts or what we doing?
No, I mean it's I like the direction that we're going in, and we have the recent news that our prayers have been answered. They bring back
Yes,
Sean. They bring
yes,
back Sean.
yes. Ah.
I think the actor's name is Patrick Fluger.
That sounds about
Fluger.
right.
Yeah, he was
Fugazi.
he played Sean Farrell in the original series, and Rain and I have been wanting them to bring
Hey,
back the original
hey.
actors to be incorporated into the story, and this is going to be the first time that that happens. And I think one of the show's creators, a guy original for the original series, Scott Peters, he's going to be directing
Mm-hmm.
that episode. So
Yep.
so we don't know what role he's going to play, but it's not going to be the
Oh no,
same one
no.
from the original
He's no,
series.
no, yeah, no, no. He's what I found is that he's going to be the love interest to one of the 4400. But yeah, he's
Okay.
not playing Sean because I when you showed me that I was like, hey y'all, what is this? So he's I think his name is Cameron. Is going to be something I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Cool.
Hmm.
Cool.
Woo! Well, let these folks know where they can support you and find you and all that good stuff.
My website is robertkjeffrey.com, robertkjeffrey.com. And Instagram is, it looks like the best, that's my handle at the bottom. But also I'm on Facebook at, I think, just Robert Jeffrey. So,
Hmm.
and you can find us also on Kickstarter.
Hey,
So,
hey, there you
yeah.
go, there you go. Yeah, and me, Rhayne Coleman, Carefree Blurred on Twitter, Carefree Black Nerd on Instagram, everywhere else. Shout out to BYNK.
Shout
Check
out
out the link
Cole.
tree. Check all the
Mhm.
links in the show notes. And shoot, man, we back. So we're gonna ride this
Yep.
thing out to the end of the season. And y'all let us know what's your thoughts. I don't know, shit. Stay carefree, stay nerdy, stay I don't know, out of the
Stay
MC
away,
man.
stay away from telepathic teenage girls.
Yo.
Yeah,
Yes.
telekinetic. So,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, please do. Well, yeah, this has been fun. This has been fun. And we'll check y'all next
definitely.
week.
Bye.
All right.